Microphone check. There it is. Hey, hey. I was having some problems with the plugs. We're all good to go now. One hen, two ducks. One hen, two ducks, three squawking geese. One hen, two ducks, three squawking geese, four corpulent porpoises. One hen, two ducks, three squawking geese, four corpulent porpoises, five limerick oysters. One hen, two ducks, three squawking geese, four corpulent porpoises, five limerick oysters, six pairs of Don Alfonso's tweezers. One hen, two ducks, three squawking geese, four corpulent porpoises, five limerick oysters, six pairs of Don Alfonso's tweezers, 7,000 Macedonian warriors in full battle array, eight prize monkeys from the ancient sacred crypts of Egypt, nine apathetic, diabetic, sympathetic old men on roller skates with a marked propensity for procrastination and sloth. All right, I think we're ready to go. Thanks for being here, Shayna. Let's go to work. Hello there, Internet, and welcome. Hey, it all worked. Welcome to Johnny Millwater's Happy Place. I hope you're feeling healthy, happy, rich, and pretty. I feel great. It's been a wonderful week, and I'm really excited about hanging out with you today. Thank you so much for being here with me already, Shayna. Sorry we got a bit of a late start. I was having some problems with my microphone. Turns out it wasn't plugged in. That's the easiest one in the world to fix, isn't it? Pretty simple. So you just stayed in a hotel last night, I heard. Let's catch up a little bit. Let's go over the chat. I think it's just you and me right now, Shayna. If anybody else is hi, say hello. If anybody else is there, say hello. I'm not saying you're... Welcome to the big show. Shayna, tell me what happened with you this week. I'm so excited. Of course, I did my first Joyful Noise show this week. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. It's my first feel-good comedy show I attempted. Lots of good things, lots of bad things. It's fun to explore. I was home with the kids this week. They were at school, but beyond that, pick them up, drop them off, make them dinner, that kind of thing. That was most of my week. Not very exciting. I've had kind of a swing up and down, mood-wise, the past couple of days. Extremely happy in the mornings, except this morning. I've had a little bit of disappointing news, and I'm trying to shake it off. So that's what's going on with me. What's going on with you? Let me know there in the chat. For those who never watched the show before, this is how it works. It's just me and you. You type in the chat, and I answer you. And then if we run out of things to say, like we have just now, all we got to do is we spin the wheel, and the wheel will take us someplace tons of fun. We'll do something cool. Come on, here we go. You never know. Got all kinds of fun things I enjoy on the wheel. Oh, nice. Joke. All right, then. Why don't you meet me in the comedy club? Got a couple of dad jokes for you. Oh, Richmond, Virginia. Beautiful town. I'm excited that you're traveling. I hope you'll tell me all about it. I'll start off with a couple of dad jokes for you, get you going. This is easy. This is a terrible one. I don't even think it makes sense, but let's try anyway. Gotta get the vibe right. Okay. What did the beach say when the tide came in? Long time no see. But, with an A. Another one? You got it. Why do turkeys play percussion? Because they have drumsticks. Fun. Let's spin the wheel. Oh, nice. Monologue. Meet me in the theater, would you please? Very excited about this one. I had to go and do this one by hand. Sort of downloaded off the closed captioning on YouTube. But there's a show that I love called Fargo. It's been on for 5 seasons. Each season is better than the last. You like the long time you see joke? Excellent. It was for you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. But anyway, Fargo is awesome. It's on FX and also on Hulu. I watched it on Hulu. I've seen every episode at least 3 or 4 times. It's one of those shows where every frame is a painting. You know what I mean? It's just a beautifully shot, fascinatingly written, and incredibly well-acted program from soup to nuts. And this is a monologue about wealth from the 3rd season. I hope you enjoy it. Let's see if I can find it. Monologue on wealth from Fargo, Season 3. Oh, just so you know, the context of this is there's a very scary, vaguely menacing man talking to a Mr. Stussy, who owns a chain of parking lots. The menacing man is trying to weasel his way into the Stussy's business by making him afraid. So that's what's going on here. In the favelas of Brazil, there are 6-year-olds with Glocks. They roll in packs, stealing whatever they can find. Mexican lowlifes stream into this country like wolves, eyeing our women and children. In the Congo, a family of 6 lives on 10 cents a day. You turn on the TV, what do you see? Boat people. Mass migration. You're living in the age of the refugee, my friend. You see it, don't you? Millions of people bought houses they couldn't afford, and now they're living on the streets. 85% of the world's wealth is controlled by 1% of the population. What do you think is going to happen when those people wake up and realize you've got all their money? You think they're going to ask questions when they come with their pitchforks and their torches? You live in a mansion. You drive a $90,000 car. Look at me. Look at me. This is a $200 suit. I wear a second-hand tie. I fly coach, not because I can't afford first, because I'm smart. So look at you and look at me and tell me, who's the richer? There's an accounting coming, Mr. Stussy, and you know I'm right. Mongol hordes descend, and what are you doing to insulate yourself, your family? You think you're rich? You've no idea what rich means. Rich is a fleet of private planes filled with decoys to mask your scent. It's a banker in Wyoming and another in Gstaad. So that's action item number 1, the accumulation of wealth. And I mean wealth, not money. Action item 2 is to use that wealth to become invisible. I like that one a lot. Yay, Pepper's with you. Fantastic. All right, let's go back to the chat. We'll talk a little bit. So happy to hear from you, Shayna. Now, Shayna has told us I'm not doing so. Oh, mood-wise. Oh, good. Well, I'm in the right place. Good. I'm here to help you. I'm here to cheer you up. I hope you feel better. Usually traveling puts me in a great mood. I'm sorry you're not feeling great just now, but don't worry. We'll fix you right up. I prefer traveling along with one person with multiple people. I've done it all 3 ways. I definitely, just Debbie and I prefer traveling with Debbie. She's wonderful company. We make each other laugh. We roll our eyes during the foolishness. It's definitely better with Debbie. I've done one-on-one everywhere in the country and everywhere in the world, and that's fine too, and there's lots of upsides to it, but I definitely prefer traveling with Debbie because she really makes us suck the marrow out of life. You know, she makes us go do fun things and makes good plans and doesn't just let me sit in the hotel room like this until the show starts. So I prefer traveling. I've never traveled with my dogs. I've always wanted to travel with dogs, never been able to do that. So how's that going? How's Pepper? Love that Pepper. Traveling alone has benefits, but it sure can get lonely, especially after several days and not meeting anyone. I find it so hard to believe you haven't met anyone. Where do you go to meet people when you're traveling through town? Uh-oh. There we go. There's our answer. At least Pepper is with me, but still, Pepper, at least you can count on. I love her a lot. I stopped taking my new antidepressants this trip, so that probably doesn't help my mood. I guarantee you it doesn't. Did your doctor tell you to stop taking it? Are you supposed to wind down first? I always get scared when I hear stop the medication. That just the bottom falls out of your whole mental stability, at least for me. I'm sure you're a little bit stronger, but I freak out when I stop my meds. Oh, the side effects. I'm so sorry. Is it still about I know you were concerned about gaining weight and stuff, but I'm so sorry to hear that. But I hope you find something new, and I hope you do it true. Oh, man, it's risky to get off your antidepressants when you're out on the road. I had one of the worst episodes I ever had. My doctors put me on Wellbutrin, and I reacted the opposite to it, and it made me 10 times more depressed, and I still had to do shows, so it was fascinating. It increases the appetite and weight gain, plus it makes me so drowsy. Oh, that's no good. That's no good. All right, you'll find something. Hope you're safe for the week. How long are you traveling? Why are you going to D.C.? Special occasion? What did you did a poll earlier, and I'll ask all the people listening here. Do you prefer to stay at an Airbnb when you travel, or do you prefer to stay at a hotel? You tell me. Of course I'm concerned. Care about you. Check in every once in a while. Ooh, costume party. You didn't meet anybody at a costume party in a strange town? Oh my God, come on, pick some dudes up, or whatever it is you want to take home with you. I went to a costume party. What'd you dress as? Were you Gwen Stefani? Were you the banana? That was a rose. I got to see a friend from high school. That's always exciting. Look at I never get tired of that. Look at a little rose floating around. Oh, hey, look at this. I got red in my cheeks. I hadn't noticed. The weather finally changed. So it's about 60 degrees outside, so I've been able to sit outside and get some sun on my face. So that's nice. Not quite on my neck yet, but I got some on my face. All right, but I lost focus. So you were just traveling through Richmond. You were at a Halloween party. How'd you get invited to a Halloween party in Richmond, Virginia? Who do you know? The high school friend, I guess? Oh, I have so many questions, and it's so hard for you to answer them. Just keep telling me more about it. Just give me more details. We'll keep it moving. 3 costumes. Layers. I dressed up in 3 costumes. As it got colder throughout the night, I kept adding more clothes. I did that once. Once I was Zorro, and then when it got cold, I was Werewolf Zorro, and then I was Werewolf Zorro in a burqa because it got really cold. Started out as a Karen. Oh, I can't even imagine you as a Karen. You better have a wig. Your hair is so anti-Karen, it's hard to believe. And then you add a layer. So start as a Karen, and then you become a werewolf Karen. You become vampire Karen. They suck the fun out of life. You tell me. I can't wait to find out. I'm going to spin a wheel. We'll come back. There's lots to be done. Let's spin the wheel. Prose. Very nice. Meet me in the prose library, would you please? All right. You started out as a Karen, and then you wore the dress from one of the characters from Nightmare Before Christmas. That's very cool. Which character? Was it the lady who was sewn up and put back together? I like that lady. Layers kept me warm. I'm a big fan of layers myself. Then my clown costume on top of all that. Did you have a wig? Wigs will keep you warm, man. Wigs will take care of most of your head problems. I don't know what that last sentence means. Let's do some prose. Let's see. Oh, this is a good one. I got Steve Martin or George Carlin. Let's do Steve Martin because Dad likes George Carlin. We'll save it for him in case he comes in a little bit later. This is Steve Martin's essay from the New Yorker. It's entitled The Sledgehammer, How It Works by Steve Martin. Let me put my headphones on for this one. Check. Many of today's adults who are otherwise capable of handling sophisticated modern devices are united by a contemporary malady, sledgehammer anxiety. I feel like I'm going to break it. The old way still works for me. This is where technology leaves me behind, are the most common chants of the sledgehammerphobe. Much of this initial fear comes from a failure to understand just how it works. By attaching a heavy-weighted slug to a truncated supercissoid, a disproportionate fulcrum is created. In other words, if you're a TV set showing Regis promoting a diet book, and you're in a room with an angry, unpublished poet holding a sledgehammer, watch out. The novice sledgehammerer, from the German Sledgehammer Ding Dong, must be familiar with a few terms. Thunk. The sound the clanker, street term for the heavily weighted slug, makes when wielded against the stuff. See next. Stuff. Things that are to be wanged. See next. Wang. The impact of the clanker and the stuff. Smithereens. The result of being wanged. Many people are surprised to find out that the sledgehammer has only one moving part. It. Yet, should I buy now or wait for the new models, is a refrain often heard from the panicky first-timer, who forgets that the number of sledgehammer innovations in the last 3,000 years can be counted on one finger. There are currently only 2 types of sledgehammers on the market, the 3-foot stick with a lead weight on the end called the normal, and a new model currently being beta tested, which is a 3-foot stick with a lead weight in the middle called the below normal. But don't let market confusion keep you from getting your feet wet. The longer you wait, the fewer things you will demolish. There is a natural fear of sledgehammers, says the National Sledgehammer and Broken Toe Society, which in response has been charting the most common accidents and offers tips for the sledgehammer's safe use. The over-the-head position, for example, often leads to excruciating lower body pain, caused when the sledgehammer wedges itself between the thighs at the end of the backswing. There is also the self-inflicted back-of-the-head knockout on lateral swings, which is very rare and only afflicts, to use the research's term, really dumb people. There are also cleaning accidents. A home hobbyist in Valdosta, Georgia, reported that while he was removing paint from his sledgehammer, it suddenly went out of control and destroyed his living room wall, even though he never let go of its handle. Despite all these drawbacks, the world of the sledgehammer is rife with enthusiasts. I find the sledgehammer very erotic, says Jane Parpadello, who is a stockbroker with Smith Barney and wants everyone to know her home phone number is listed. I think it's because my father was shaped like a sledgehammer, the long wooden body and big metal head. Today, when I see a man in that shape, I just want to pick him up and slam him against the wall. The sledgehammer king, Marty Del Fangio, whose net worth has been estimated at $42,000, was recently summoned before Congress to defend his reasons for attaching a mandatory web browser to his market-leading product. I smelled money to be made, said De La Fangio. The combination of a web browser and a sledgehammer is it's only an option, although as a promise, the powder puff attachments remain. Roustabouts have also noted a sharp increase in sledgehammer interest. We used to raise a circus tent pretty much on our own, says Toby, a 24-year-old veteran of Barnum and Bailey. Now I have crazies every morning from the local sledgehammer club, watching me plug a spike. It's disgusting, circus-like atmosphere. One of them interviewed me for his newsletter. I let him take a swing, too. He looked like Tinkerbell trying to lift a semi by its hood ornament. But it's not all bad. At least there's a never-ending supply of chicks. Although once some woman picked me up by the ankles and slammed me against the wall. In the last 10 years, the sledgehammer has come into its own, finally recognized for what it is, a tool, a thing, and a heavy object. Hundreds of years from now, when technology has altered the sledgehammer's appearance into a sleek, digital, aerodynamic uber machine, it will no doubt function as it does today, toppling the mighty and denting the hard. Nice. All right. Layers kept me warm. Let's catch up with Shayna. Layers kept me warm. Am I dressing up this year? Probably I'll throw on my shadow costume. Charlotte's 10. She still wants to go trick-or-treating, and I'm not going to miss that. So, yeah, I'll get dressed up. My shadow costume is just a red thing over my face like this, and then a fedora hat and a black jacket and a cape. It's classic. Good, thanks. You're really getting the character. It is. It's fun to do. What are the kids and Debbie dressing up as? Okay, let's see if I can remember. Orion is dressing up as Bob Ross because he has an afro, which is Bob Rossian in its proportions. It's amazing. And then Debbie and Charlotte are both dressing up as paintings that Bob Ross made. Good question. I bet Debbie is such a great travel companion, especially with how laid back she is. She is astonishingly great to travel with. And she's probably laid back because of all that travel. It burned through a lot of the tension early in our relationship. She looked so cute at her show last week. It was so great to see her with the kids. Oh, yeah. That made me really, really happy. Hey, let's talk about the show. Let's go to the chat. We'll talk about the show real quick. Dad's not here yet, but I want to talk. We'll wait for Dad. I'll wait for Dad to talk about the show. But, yeah, he's going to be fantastic. I can't wait to see it. It was so nice of you to come to the show. Thank you, Shayna, for being there and for making the sandwiches and for bringing your friends and for just being lovely. I really appreciate you. Oh, excuse me. Let's spin the wheel. Okay, let's do some Shakespeare then. Maybe at the Shakespeare corner. Hello and welcome to the Shakespeare corner. Oh, hey, I saw Eddie Izzard last night, speaking of the English. Eddie Izzard, Debbie took me to go see Eddie Izzard. He was performing at the Night Theater. Did a great big show. Did an hour and a half, and then did an interval, which is what the British call an intermission. And then he probably did a whole bunch of other stuff, but we'll never know. Okay, let's. Forgot to take the leftover jars of PBs. Oh, sorry about that. I forgot a lot. Forgot to pay everybody. I forgot a lot. That's what we're doing the meeting for today. I'm going to try to figure out, do a little postmortem on the show. So after when Dad shows up, I would love to get your opinion on all the stuff. We'll talk about it. But for now, let's do something from Othello. This is Iago talking about virtue. This is virtue, a fig. He's trying to do the right thing. Somebody's trying to do the right thing for the sake of the good thing. But Iago's saying, hey, it's up to you, man. There's no such thing as virtue, really. So here we go. Virtue, a fig. 'Tis in ourselves that we are thus or thus. Our bodies are our gardens, to which our wills are gardeners. So that if we will plant nettles, or sow lettuce, set hyssop and weed up thyme, supply it with one gender of herbs, or distract it with many, either to have it sterile with idleness, or manured with industry, why, the power and corrigible authority of this lies in our wills. If the balance of our lives had not one scale of reason to poise another of sensuality, the blood and baseness of our natures would conduct us to most preposterous conclusions. But we have reason to cool our raging motions, our carnal stings, our unbittered lusts. What? Well, I take this that you call love to be a sect or scion. I wonder what a scion is. I guess we'll never know. All right, let's spin the wheel. Scion. Oh, nice. Fit me in the poetry corner. Got a couple poems for you. All right. Because I'm in a dark mood and you are too, here's a dark poem. This is called The Second Coming by William Butler Yeats. Turning and turning in the widening gyre, the falcon cannot hear the falconer. Things fall apart, the center cannot hold. Mere anarchy is loosed upon the world. The blood-dimmed tide is loosed, and everywhere the ceremony of innocence is drowned. The best lack all conviction, while the worst are full of passionate intensity. Surely some revelation is at hand. Surely the second coming is at hand. The second coming. Hardly are those words out when a vast image out of Spiritus Mundi troubles my sight. Somewhere in sands of the desert a shape with lion body in the head of a man, while all about it reel shadows of the indignant desert birds. The darkness drops again. But now I know that 20 centuries of stony sleep were vexed to nightmare by a rocking cradle. And what rough beast its hour come round at last slouches towards Bethlehem to be born? Forgot. Wonder where Jim is. I'm worried about Dad, too. Hope he's okay. He's probably sleeping in. Nothing to worry about. Hope. Oh, you poor thing. I'm so sorry. I don't think antidepressants, as I understand, they build up in your system. It's not a matter of the 4 hours after you take it like it would be with aspirin or something. It's a matter of the 6 weeks of building it in your system, at least the ones that I've taken. I'll try to cheer you up. Let's find some more happy stuff while you drive. What do you say? We'll find you something. I'm glad we can relate to each other's trust. Oh, you are definitely not alone. No, I've spent a lot of time traveling and holding back tears. A lot of time. Let's spin the wheel again. Ooh, Zen Koan. Maybe it's a campfire. Let's see. I believe we left off at Zen Koan number 84. Let's pick it up from there. This is Zen Koan 85, Time to Die. Sounds like the 85th James Bond movie, but it's not. It's the 85th Zen Koan. Ikkyu, the Zen master, was very clever even as a boy. His teacher had a precious teacup, a rare antique. Ikkyu happened to break this cup and was greatly perplexed. Hearing the footsteps of his teacher, he held the pieces of the cup behind him. When the master appeared, Ikkyu asked, "Why do people have to die?" "This is natural," explained the older man. "Everything has to die and has just so long to live." Ikkyu, producing the shattered cup, added, "It was time for your cup to die." There you go. Yeah, me too. She probably, I don't know where everybody is. Who knows? Who knows? Let's spin the wheel. Well, we got each other. That's all we need. I visited my friend Courtney's streams a couple times. That was fun. Wisdom. Meet me in the wisdom. Oh, I got a good one for today. Let us do. This is from Bertrand Russell. This is, it's a longer piece, but I think it's very interesting, and I hope you enjoy it. This is What is Consciousness by Bertrand Russell. I maintain an opinion which many other philosophers find shocking, namely that people's thoughts are only in their heads. What I maintain is that the occurrence in the brain is a visual sensation. I maintain, in fact, that the brain consists of thoughts, using thought in its very widest sense as it is used by philosopher René Descartes. To this, people reply, "Nonsense! I can see a brain through a microscope, and I can see that it does not consist of thoughts, but of matter, just as tables and chairs do." This is a sheer mistake. What you see when you look at a brain through a microscope is part of your private world. It is the effect in you of a long causal process starting from the brain that you say you are looking at. The brain that you say are looking at is, no doubt, part of the physical world, but this is not the brain which is a datum in your experience. That brain is a remote effect of the physical brain, and if the location of events in physical space-time is to be affected, as I maintain, by causal relations, then your precept, which comes after events in your eye and optic nerve leading to your brain, must be located in your brain. We can approach the same result by another route. When we were considering the photographic plate, which photographs a portion of the starry heavens, we saw that this involves a great multiplicity of occurrences at the photographic plate, namely, at the very least, one for each object that it can photograph. I infer that in every small region of space-time, there is an immense multiplicity of overlapping events, each connected by a causal line to an origin at some earlier time, though usually at a very slightly earlier time. A sensitive instrument, such as a photographic plate, placed anywhere, may be said in a sense to perceive the various stars and distant galaxies from which these causal lines emanate. We do not use the word perceive unless the instrument in question is a living brain. But that is because those regions which are inhabited by living brains have certain peculiar relations among the events occurring there. The most important of these is memory. Wherever these peculiar relations exist, we say that there is a percipient. We may define the mind as a collection of events connected with each other by memory chains backwards and forwards. We know about one such collection of events, namely that constituting ourselves, more intimately and directly than we know about anything else in the world. In regard to what happens to ourselves, we not only abstract logical structure, but we also qualify, by which I mean what characterizes sounds as opposed to colors, or red as opposed to green. This is the sort of thing we cannot know where the physical world is concerned. There are three key points in the above theory. The first is that the entities that occur in mathematical physics are not part of the stuff of the world, but are constructions composed of events and taken as units for the convenience of the mathematician. The second is that the whole of what we perceive without interference belongs to our private world. The starry heaven that we know in visual sensation is inside us. The external starry heaven that we believed in is inferred. The third point is that the causal lines which enable us to be aware of a diversity of objects, though there are some of such lines everywhere, are apt to peter out like rivers in the sand. That is why we do not at all times perceive everything. I do not pretend that the above theory can be proved. What I contend is that, like the theories of physics, it cannot be disproved, and gives an answer to many problems which older theorists have found puzzling. I do not think that any prudent philosopher will claim more than this for any mind theory. It's all in our heads, man. That's what he's saying. It's all in our heads. Dad's here! Yay! Oh, good. Thanks for bringing him in. DJ Shayna went and lassoed my pop. He's here now to enjoy the show. Welcome aboard, Shayna. Thanks for being here. Thanks, Dad. Glad you made it. Yesterday, I went to a museum in Richmond and a great Lego exhibit. That's very, very cool. The largest Lego creation was a very large replica of the Titanic made up of over 200,000 Legos. That's interesting. Did it open up? Could you see all the inside floors and stuff like that? Was there a lady on the front with little arms like this? I'm king of the world. She can't go like that. It's Lego. I'm king. Well, let's spin the wheel. Let's sing a song. Meet me in the acapella library. Trying to find some positive things to sing. This is one of my favorites. This is by the wonderful Johnny Mercer, my namesake and one of my favorite songwriters. This is Accentuate the Positive by Johnny Mercer. Gather round me, everybody, gather round me while I preach some. Feel a sermon coming o'er me. The topic will be sin, and that's what I'm agin. If you wanna hear my story, then settle back and just sit tight while I start reviewing the attitude of doing right. You got to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative, don't mess with Mr. In Between. You've got to spread joy up to the maximum, bring gloom down to the minimum. Have faith or pandemonium, liable to walk upon the scene. To illustrate my last remark, Jonah in the whale, Noah in the ark. What did they do just when everything looked so dark? Man, they said we better accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative, don't mess with Mr. In Between. No. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. Almost made it. Sorry about that, folks. How you feeling, Dad? Legoland. Ooh, Mini Jack, Mini Rose, yay, doing the iconic pose. Very, very nice. Glad you're here, Dad. Let's see. Let's bring you up to speed. This is exciting. Okay. Let's... Roses and Thorns. Let's see. Oh, spin the wheel. Maybe it'll come up. I've never heard Willie Nelson's version. I would love to hear that. I love that song. Oh, Roses and Thorns. Meet me in the chat chalet, would you please? Hey, everybody. Roses and Thorns this week. Dad's here. Yay. Okay. I'll go and you guys type up your Roses and Thorns. Tell me all about it. I want to hear all about this trip. I want to hear more and more and more. I got so many questions. But I'll start. Let's see. I did my first Joyful Noise show. The rose was that we started on time. The venue was beautiful. The cast was all there and focused, and every single one of them did their job wonderfully. Made me very, very happy. Very proud of every single one of them. I had a great time. I enjoyed watching the show. I enjoyed producing the show. Thorns, I forgot. I was singing a song. I sang a song called Carpe Diem based on YMCA, and I forgot the lyrics about halfway through. And then I had to sort of cover for the second half of the song, which actually turned out to be kind of comedy magic. It worked okay, I think, but still a thorn because I practiced really hard and tried to get it memorized. Oh, and Shayna was there, and she was fantastic, and she brought my friend Will Spann, and he's fantastic, and she brought her friend Daniel, who's sometimes a friend of the show, and they were all lovely, lovely, lovely people who were very, very kind to the show, and it was a good time. But I think we only had a total of about 10, 15 people for the whole thing. The venue where we play is 30 to 50 is sold out. But we had very, very few people. Everybody was directly invited by somebody. We had no strangers in the room. But it was a great show. So let me run you through it just so I could talk it out because I think it's fun. We started off, thank you, Shayna. Cleaned up for the storm. How much storm did you have to do, Dad? How much storm did you have to do? Oh, thank you. Well, I've been at it a long time, and in comedy, there's no mistakes. There's just magic. So, yeah, embrace it and keep rolling. That's one of the most important things they teach you, I think. But let's see. So the show started off with Bob doing announcements. He had like 15 different one-liners about clubs and stuff, and I really, really enjoyed that. And then came my buddy Craig Carlin. He came out and did his keynote speech about how he's beat cancer 6 times, how he first found out, and how important it is to seize the day. And then I came out and I did The Wizard of Manifestation, which is a brand new bit I'm super excited about. Everybody writes down something that they want on a piece of paper and they seal it in an envelope. And then I take all the envelopes and I hold them up to my head and I guess what's in the envelope. And then I do crowd play with them to find out why they want it and how we can manifest it. And I made up a thing. You got to manifest fingers. It was great. It's my favorite part. Really enjoyed it. And then after that, my buddy Will Spotted Bear came out. He's a killer. Very, very funny guy. He did a wonderful set that I enjoyed. And then he was the visiting dignitary. That's what we call our guest sets. One's a visiting dignitary. One is an outside consultant. And one is visiting dignitary, outside consultant, and traveling Wilbury. I don't know, something like that. There's the third one. I got it written down somewhere. But stand-up was very funny. And then I came out and I did the song. We just talked about that. That was fun. Let's see. And then we did Joyful Noise, which was, it didn't quite link the way I wanted it to. I think what's missing is a metronome. I have a metronome. I'll bring it next time. And if we start with that beat, I think we can all build on that and it'll be fine. Yeah, it was good to see Mac. I love Mac. She was supposed to be in the show. I have no idea. We designed several parts of the show that she could be in. You'd like Mac's dad. Mac's a very smart young lady, just got married. On camera, she's ridiculously good looking. But in life, she's just a very lovely person. She's just very, very nice, focused, very good at promotion and getting an audience in the room and hosting. And she was supposed to be in the cast, but it didn't work out this time. So she came and sat in the audience anyway. So I don't know. It was wonderful to see her. I enjoy her company very much, but I would have loved her to have been in the show. So then, after that, we did Joyful Noise, which is kind of like Stomp. It's just sort of a drum circle for about 3 minutes, maybe less. And then we did Peanut Butter Jelly Time, which is where Shayna came in handy. She made 75 sandwiches for 13 people. 75 little it was fantastic. Little toothpicks in them. And she brought them in on the trays, and she gave them around to everybody, and we danced, and it was fun. I got a clearer picture of what I want to do next time, so it's a little more organized. I want to have the same cast every time, but who knows who's going to show up. The idea is to have a cast of 8 people that just that are there every time, and then having 3 guest sets every time, or less. Maybe a cast of 6 people and 3 guest sets. But I'd like to have the same cast. I'd like all of them to stay participating. I'd like Max to join the cast. I'd like Will Spann to join the cast. There's a couple folks who I think would be very, very well suited for it. But I'm still working it out. So we'll see if I can get them to show up. I think I'm going to start paying them. I think that's probably the way to do it. You give them a percentage of the show, and then they have the opportunity. If they sell 10 tickets, then they have, they get $100, whatever it is. But nobody thinks that way, so I'll just give them $50 each, something like that. And then I'll just either lose money or gain money myself. That'll be fun. So, Thorn, is the pool still full of leaves? Rose is mostly cleaned up. Oh, then we'll meet again, which was too long. Now it's fun. And then my buddy came out, cringe cleansing. That was the exciting part. My buddy Oli, who hasn't performed in years, she used to be the school principal where my son goes to school now. Great lady who I've known for over a decade. I met at the very first Asheville Comedy Festival, Laugh Your Asheville Off. We were both featured in that, and we worked together on several shows in Charlotte while she was still doing comedy. And then she got a comedy for a bit, and now she's getting back in. So we're very lucky to have her on cast. She did cringe cleansing, which is just going around to different people and finding different things they've done that embarrass them, and then forgiving them for it, basically, so that they don't have to be embarrassed anymore. It's fun. And then we all come out again at the end, and we sing We'll Meet Again, and it made me really happy. Oh, Shayna said she liked the hand gestures from the Carpe Diem song. You can't go YMCA, so the gesture was Carpe Diem. Thank you, Shayna. You're good people. Oh, the magic trick. I'll never know. Can't reveal the secret, but thanks for noticing. All right. Tell you what, let's spin the wheel. I'm having fun. Oh, joke, all right. Yeah, meet me at the comedy club. All right, let's see how this goes. I adopted a dog from a blacksmith. As soon as he came home, he bolted the door. No. Strike that, reverse it. Here we go. I adopted the guy Hey. The guy I adopted my dog from is a blacksmith. As soon as I brought it home, he made a bolt for the door. There it is. Bolt for the... there's only two things I won't eat for breakfast. Lunch and dinner. All right, so enough of that. Let's spin the wheel. No, I didn't peek at what people wrote. They were sealed. It's an old magic trick. Monologue. Meet me in the theater. We'll do a monologue. Thank you. It's an old magic trick. It's called the one-ahead method, and I've been doing it since I was 11 years old. I'm hoping anybody can do it, so hopefully you'll get to see that trick again. I won't tell you how it's done, so it won't be ruined for you. Let's see. Theater, I believe we have a monologue all set up. We had done one from Fargo. You got to watch Fargo, Dad. It's a great show. It's on FX. And now we have one from, see if I can find it. Here we go. From Dead Poets Society. I think I told you guys, Charlotte and I watched the first half of Dead Poets Society, and then she walked out and got distracted, and I decided never to show her the second half of Dead Poets Society, because that's a sad, sad movie for a 10-year-old. But this is the monologue from Dead Poets Society. I hope you enjoy it. Now, in my class, you will learn to think for yourselves again. You will learn to savor words and language. No matter what anybody tells you, words and ideas can change the world. I see that look in Mr. Pitt's eye, like 19th century literature has nothing to do with going to business school or medical school, right? Maybe. Mr. Hopkins, you may agree with him, thinking, yes, we should simply study our Mr. Pritchard and learn our rhyme and meter and go quietly about the business of achieving other ambitions. I have a little secret for you. Huddle up. Huddle up! We don't read and write poetry because it's cute. We read and write poetry because we are members of the human race, and the human race is filled with passion. Medicine, law, business, engineering, these are noble pursuits and necessary to sustain life, but poetry, beauty, romance, love, these are what we stay alive for. To quote from Whitman, oh me, oh life, of the questions of these recurring, of the endless trains, of the faithless, of cities filled with the foolish, what good among these? Oh me, oh life. Answer that you are here, that life exists and identity, that the powerful play goes on and you may contribute a verse. That the powerful play goes on and you may contribute a verse. What will your verse be? Fun. I think you requested another one from Dead Poet Society. This is the monologue immediately following the one you requested. It's my second favorite. I did not find a VCR, but I got friends over at the Vizard now, and they are a very VCR-friendly people. I watched it on streaming, but I gave her the box. I gave Charlotte the box so she could see it. It turned out that she has to write her first poem in class this week, so she wanted to learn a little bit about poetry, and I was telling her about this movie, and we watched it, the fun parts. Nice. It is cool that he has a pool. I think it's mostly for the grandkids. I'll let him answer that question, though. All right, let's spin the wheel. Prose! Nice. Meet me in the prose library. I got you some George Carlin, Dad. Let's see. There it is. Put my headphones on for this. Make sure the shot looks right. Clear my throat, excuse me. And we're back. Here we go. This is Expressions I Question by George Carlin. There are many expressions we use. There are many expressions we use. Trying. There are many expressions we take for granted. We use them all the time, yet never examine them carefully. We just say them as if they really made sense. Legally drunk. Well, if it's legal, then what's the problem? Leave me alone, officer. I'm legally drunk. You know where you can stick it. Why do we assume everyone knows where they can stick it? Suppose you don't know. Suppose you're a new guy and you have absolutely no idea where you can stick it. I think there ought to be a government booklet entitled Where to Stick It. Now that I think of it, I believe there is a government booklet called that. They send it to you on April 15th. Undisputed heavyweight champion. If it's undisputed, what's all the fighting about? To me, undisputed means we all agree. Here you have two men beating the shit out of each other over something they apparently agree on. It's the quiet ones you gotta watch. Every time I see a television news story about a mass murderer, the guy's neighbor always says, well, he was very quiet. And someone I'm with says, it's the quiet ones you gotta watch. This sounds like a very dangerous assumption. I'll bet anything that while you're busy watching a quiet one, a noisy one will fucking kill you. Suppose you're in a bar, and one guy is sitting over the side reading a book, not bothering anybody, and another guy is standing up at the front, banging a machete on the bar, screaming, "I'm gonna kill the next motherfucker that pisses me off!" Who are you gonna watch? Lock him up and throw away the key. This is one you hear a lot from men. Men like to talk that way. It makes them feel tough. A guy sees a rapist on the TV news. He says, "You see that guy? They ought to lock him up and throw away the key." This is really stupid. First of all, every time the guy's got to take a shit, you're going to have to call the locksmith. If he's in prison 30 years, even if he's eating government cheese, it's going to cost you a fortune. Second, where do you throw the key? Right out in front of the jail? His friends will find it. How far can you throw a key? 40, 50 feet tops? Right out the front of the jail? I mean, even if you hold it flat on its side and you scale it, what do you get? Extra 10 feet tops. This is a stupid idea that needs to be completely rethought. Down the tubes. That's one you hear a lot. People say, "This country's going down the tubes." What tubes? Have you seen any tubes? Where are these tubes, and where do they go? And how come there's more than one tube? It would seem to me, for all one country, you would need one tube. Does every state have to have its own tube? One tube is all you need. But a tube that big? Nobody would have seen it by now. Somebody would have said, "Hey, Joey, look at that fucking tube. Big ass fucking tube over here." You never hear that. You know why? No tubes. We don't have tube one. We are, sorry to say, tubeless. Takes the cake. Boy, he really takes the cake. Where? Where do you take a cake? To the movies? You know where I would take a cake? Down to the bakery to see the other cakes. And how come he takes the cake? How come he doesn't take a pie? A pie is easier to carry than a cake. Easy as pie. A cake is not too hard to carry either. Piece of cake. The greatest thing since sliced bread. So this is it, huh? Couple of 100,000 years. Sliced bread. What about the pyramids? The Panama Canal, the Great Wall of China, even a lava lamp, to me, is greater than sliced bread. What's so great about sliced bread? You got a knife, you got a loaf of bread, slice the fucking thing and get on with your life. Out walking the streets. This is another one you hear from men. Some guy sees a rapist on the news, same rapist as before, only this time he's being released. The guy says, "You see that? You see that guy? They're letting him go. Now instead of being in prison, he's out walking the streets." How do we know? How do we know he's out walking the streets? Maybe he's home banging the babysitter. Not everybody who gets a parole is out walking the streets. A lot of times they steal a car. We ought to be glad. Thank God he stole a car. At least he's not out walking the streets. Fine and dandy. That's an old-fashioned one, isn't it? You say to a guy, "How are you?" He says, "Fine and dandy." Not me. I never say that. You know why? Because I'm never both those things at the same time. Sometimes I'm fine, but I'm not dandy. I might be close to dandy, but not quite fully dandy. I'm in the general vicinity of dandyhood. Other times I might indeed be highly dandy, however, not fine. One time, 1978, August, for about an hour, I was both fine and dandy at the same time. But nobody asked me how I was. I could have told them fine and dandy. I consider it a lost opportunity. Walking papers. Some guy gets fired. They say, "Well, they gave him his walking papers today." Let me ask you something. Did you ever get any walking papers? Seriously? Believe me, in my life, I got fired a lot of times, okay? I never got walking papers. Never got any walking papers. Never got a pink slip either. You know what I would get? A guy would come around to my desk and say, "Get the fuck out of here." You don't need a paper for that. The Riot Act. They keep saying they're going to read that to you. Tell the truth. Have you ever heard this thing at all? Ever? It's especially a problem when you're a kid. They like to threaten you. You wait till your father comes home. He's going to read you the Riot Act. Oh, yeah? Well, tell him I already read it myself. I didn't like it. I consider it wordy and poorly thought out. If he wants to read me something, how about the Gentleman's Guide to the Golden Age of Blowjobs? More than happy. I'll bet you say that sometimes. More than happy. I'll bet you say, "Oh, I'd be more than happy to do that." How can you be more than happy. To me, this sounds like a dangerous mental condition. We had to put Laszlo under physical restraint. He was more than happy. One more of these expressions. In your own words. You hear it in classrooms and courtrooms. They'll say, tell us in your own words. Do you have your own words? Personally, I'm using the ones everyone else has been using. Next time they tell you to do something in your own words, say, Nick Vlad Blorny Quando Floon. Quando Floon. There we go. Little George Carlin for you. Ooh, this is good. You know, we could expand on that magic trick. How? Let's see. It's to make whatever people write down actually come true. Wouldn't that be amazing? So with Daniel's wish, you would magically make him a lifetime supply of Twinkies. Actually appears. Is that too much to ask? Not at all. It's the least I can do. I'll make some calls to Steve Twinkie. He's a friend of mine from childhood. My wish was to live a long, healthy life with no regrets. What a beautiful, healthy wish. Can you please make that come true, Johnny? I'd really appreciate it. Give me but time. Give me but time, and I shall burn away all your regrets. No longer wish for anything. That's a lovely 49-year-old. All right. This show's gotten so weird. All right, then. Let's spin. Shake Pat, meet me in the Shakespeare corner, would you please? All right, Dad, I was saving you the sonnet. This is sonnet. This is sonnet number 38 by William Shakespeare. How can my muse want subject to invent, while thou dost breathe, that pourest into my verse thine own sweet argument, too excellent for every vulgar paper to rehearse? Oh, give thyself the thanks, if aught in me worthy perusal stand against thy sight. For who's so dumb that cannot write to thee? 9. Than those old 9 which rhymers invocate, and he that calls on thee, let him bring forth eternal numbers to outlive long date. If my slight muse do please these curious days, the pain be mine, but thine shall be the praise. Yeah, you're so great. How can I not write stuff? Couple of years, you'll be perfect. I love George Carlin, too. He's one of the best. Good choice. Just give him time. You're too young for him right now. You got to have principles. Let's spin the wheel. Poem! Yay! Made me in the poetry corner. Got something slightly happier this time. We got some Edgar Allan Poe. I like to do Edgar Allan Poe anytime it's October. I'm going to save The Raven for next week. This is The Bells by Edgar Allan Poe. Hear the sledges with the bells, silver bells. What a world of merriment their melody foretells. How they tinkle, tinkle, tinkle in the icy air of night, while the stars that oversprinkle all the heavens seem to twinkle with a crystalline delight, keeping time in a sort of runic rhyme to the tintitabulation that so musically swells from the bells, 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 from the jingling and the tingling of the bells. Hear the mellow wedding bells, golden bells. What a world of happiness their harmony foretells. Through the balmy air of night, how they ring out their delight from the molten golden notes, and all in tune, what a liquid ditty floats to the turtle dove that listens while she gloats on the moon. Oh, from out the sounding cells, what a gush of euphony voluminously wells. See how it swells, how it dwells on the future, how it tells of the rapture that impels to the swinging and the ringing of the bells, bells, bells. Of the bells, 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 to the rhyming and the chiming of the bells. Hear the loud alarum bells, brazen bells. What tale of terror now their turbulency tells in the startled ear of night. Now they scream out their affright. Too much horrified to speak, they can only shriek, shriek out of tune, in a clamorous appealing to the mercy of the fire, in a mad expostulation with the deaf and frantic fire, leaping higher, 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 with a desperate desire and a resolute endeavor now to sit or never by the pale-faced side of the moon. Oh, the bells, 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 what a tale their terror tells of despair, how they clang and clash and roar, what a horror they outpour on the bosom of the palpitating air. Yet the ear it fully knows by the twanging and the clanging how the danger ebbs and flows. Yet the ear distinctly tells in the jangling and the wrangling how the danger and the slangling, the swelling and the anger of the bells, 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 and the clamor and the clangor of the bells. Hear the tolling of the bells, iron bells. What a world of solemn thought their melody compels. In the silence of the night, how we shiver with affright at the melancholy menace of their tone. For every sound that floats from the rust within their throats is a groan. And the people, they that dwell up in the steeple all alone, and who tolling, 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 in that muffled monotone, feel a glory in so rolling on the human heart a stone. They are neither man nor woman, they are neither brute nor human, they are ghouls. And their king it is who tolls, and he rolls, 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 rolls a paean from the bells, and his merry bosom swells with the paean of the bells, and he dances, and he yells, keeping time, 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 in a sort of runic rhyme to the paean of the bells, keeping time, 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 in a sort of runic rhyme, to the throbbing of the bells, 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 to the sobbing of the bells, keeping time, 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 as he knells, 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 in a happy runic rhyme, to the rolling of the bells, 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 to the tolling of the bells, 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 to the moaning and the groaning of the bells. Well, what happened? I'm glad to hear that too. Partially picky, no problem. Well, Dad's tall and he won't eat off the floor. Let's see. Of course, I remember Tom Snovers. He was the elder statesman for a while there. He sat here at my table. He got married in Vegas. Yay! Oh, I'm so happy for him. Oh, that's wonderful. His wife lives in Cornelius, but he's moving out to New Mexico. Excellent choice. Dating for 3 months. Oh, well. Magic is magic. I'm glad he found it. That's a beautiful thing. Thank you, Shayna. All right, let's spin the wheel. Oh, Zen Koan. Nice. Yeah, it is. Meet me at the campfire. All right. Let's do Zen Koan number 86. This is Zen Koan 86, The Living Buddha and the Tubmaker. Zen masters give personal guidance in a secluded room. No one enters while teacher and pupil are together. Mokurai, the Zen master of Kenin Temple in Kyoto, used to enjoy talking with merchants and newspapermen as well as his pupils. A certain tubmaker was almost illiterate. He would ask foolish questions of Makuri, have tea, and then go away. One day, while the tubmaker was there, Makuri wished to give personal guidance to a disciple, so he asked the tubmaker to wait in another room. I understand you're a living Buddha, the man protested. Even the stone Buddhas in the temple never refuse the numerous persons who come together before them. Why then should I be excluded? Makurai had to go outside to see his disciple. Take that, Mokurai. Do you see the qualities in a woman that your dad listed? Let me see what here. Let's see. Can't find it, I'm afraid. Female humor and breathing. I do like all those. Those are very, very important. I also like it when they're funny or they have a good laugh. There's other stuff too, but that's the important stuff. Just from a legal standpoint, you want to, okay, enough of that. Let's spin the wheel. Acapella. Nice. Would you please meet me in the Acapella Theater? That's a library, really. This is a song I know by heart, one of my all-time favorites, written by the brilliant Eric Idle. This is Always Look on the Bright Side of Life, and I invite you to sing along. Some things in life are bad. They can really make you sad. Other things just make you swear and curse. If you're chewing on life's gristle, don't grumble, give a whistle, and this'll help things turn out for the best. And always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the light side of life. If life seems jolly rotten, there's something you've forgotten, and that's to laugh and smile and dance and sing. When you're feeling in the dumps, don't be silly chumps, just purse your lips and whistle, that's the thing. And always look on the bright side of life. Everybody. Always look on the light side of life. For life is quite absurd, and that's the final word. You must always face the curtain with a bow. Forget about your sin, give the audience a grin. Enjoy it, it's your last chance anyhow. And always look on the bright side of death. Just before you draw your terminal breath. Life's a piece of shit when you look at it. Life's a laugh and death's a joke, it's true. You'll see it's all a show, keep 'em laughing as you go. Just remember that the last laugh is on you. And always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the light side of life. I mean, what you got to lose? You come from nothing, you're going back to nothing. What you lost? Nothing. Well, things happen to see you now. All right, true enough. Great song. Oh, geez, thank you. Yay. They also have to be willing to pick them up, I think. Oh, that was wonderful. All right, let's go say our good nights. Thank you very much for watching. Great to see you, Dad. Thanks for watching Dan Drive Safely. Tell me all about your big adventure. I can't wait to hear all about it. Pepper's coming for me. I might get some Pepper art the chance I get. And I hope you really enjoy your trip. I'm glad to see that you've embraced getting out there and traveling. It's so good for you. Have a great time in D.C. Tell me all about it. And remember, the only way to save this country is for all of us to love one another. So love yourself first. Then find somebody else to love. Then if you can, love everybody. That's what I'm trying to do. Till next time. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Everybody, keep shining through, just like you always do, and the blue skies will push the dark clouds far away. And would you please say hello to the folks that I know and tell them I won't be long? They'll be happy to know that as you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Bye-bye, drive safe. Until next time, be good, but not too good. Bye-bye.